Hi guys, it's Freddy here with day 2 of Horror Week on RPG Gamer with a retro RPG. Now, yesterday I dealt with Call of Cthulhu, which is the granddaddy of all the horror RPGs, having been around since the late 70s. But today I'd like to move on to the big boy in the park of horror RPGs, The World of Darkness from White Wolf. Now, The World of Darkness is set in modern day, where monsters are having to deal with the more common elements of life now. So while these vampires still want to prey on people and werewolves still want to tear people apart, they've got security cameras to deal with. They've got people with cell phones. And they're trying to live amongst us in ordinary lives. The main game of the series was Vampire the Masquerade, which is all about the vampires having to maintain the masquerade. The masquerade being the pretense that they don't exist. Werewolf the Apocalypse is all about how pollution in the world is what the werewolves see as the end of days, because they are natural creatures and nature is slowly getting destroyed, or quickly getting destroyed, by pollution and the growing cities of humans. Mage, I don't even know what the subtitle of that is because I never had much interest in it. Wraith the Oblivion was a game about the afterlife, how wraiths exist but have to keep their memories alive in the real world. And then the 5th game in the series came out, which was this, Changeling the Dreaming, which is a bit of an odd one for a horror game, because it's not particular horror. Changelings are the fairy spirits which have been swapped for humans. So while the world around you perceives you as a human being, you are one of these fairies. And what do they have? Traits. Here we go. We've got Boggans. Little pixie folk. Industrious Boggans seem to derive the greatest pleasure from work. You have Eshu, or Ishu. Restless folk embody the spirit of adventure. Knockers. Grim and obsessive, the sour knockers cast a critical eye on the courts. They're master artisans. Puka, which are sort of animal shapeshifters. Redcaps, who are the berserkers, and again seem to be Scottish. I don't know, the world seems to see Scotland as particularly violent. We've got satyrs. We've got the She, elf warriors. The Sluagh, goths, snake-like and profane. These kith are the outcasts of the fairy world, the nameless dispossessed whose burrows honeycomb the depths. We've got trolls, big strong ones, and that's it. So these are living in the world where they can see vampires, werewolves, they can see the monsters, but they're trying to live ordinary lives. The access to the fairy realms has been cut off. And this was very much a lackluster addition to the World of Darkness. It's a bit too light-hearted. It's possibly the first retro RPG that I'm going and being a bit down on. It's interesting enough. I would have kind of liked to have maybe played Troll Berserker in amongst some werewolves, but I can't really see how a campaign of these would work. I think he could stand toe-to-toe alongside some werewolves and join their quest. But as with all of the White Wolf books, it's absolutely lovely in its presentation. It came out in '95, so we'd got desktop publishing by that time. Ooh, floppy disks. It's a beautiful presentation. Let's just flick through a few pages. In the introduction. Dr. Bashir. Some Star Trek reference in it. And it uses the standard White Wolf rules of, if we can find a character sheet, probably easier to reference. So you set your primary, secondary, and tertiary stats. You have a number of points to spend in each, going down from primary to tertiary, so you can decide whether you're a physical character, a social character, or a mental character. You do the same with your skills. You allocate them, and then you add them together for certain tasks. So hitting somebody might be brawl plus dexterity to be able to hit them, or perhaps you're just smashing them, so it would be brawl plus strength. You intimidating somebody, if you're massive and muscular and you're intimidating them with the bulk of your body, it'll probably be strength plus intimidation. But maybe you're smart and you're manipulating them, so it's wits or intelligence plus intimidation. The Games Master can decide. You add the number of pips you've got in the talents and in the attribute and roll that many dice. 10-sided dice. The target number will be set from a routine task at a 4 or a 5, up through more challenging, up to very difficult ones at 9s and 10s. You've got your glamour, which powers your magic. Your advantages, obviously, which give you extra powers beyond. Willpower and banality. Banality is as you become mundane and boring and you lose your fairy aspect and just become a human. Standard 7 levels of health as the other games. It's nice. It's not very evocative. I could never imagine playing this. If anybody did, please send me comments. I would love to know how it went for you. But there was nothing inspiring. I couldn't see a group of players turning around and, oh yeah, I want to be a boggin. I want to be fairy type thing. It just doesn't feel very evocative for players. Anyway, that is today's Retro RPG for Horror Week with Changeling the Dreaming. Not particularly horror, but set in the world of darkness. Thank you very, very much for watching. Like and subscribe if you like what I'm doing, and I'll catch you later.